Ooh, foggy. There we go. No idea how many are in the boat, but definitely the most this boat has ever seen in a day. Here to Beaver Lodge. Couldn't tell you what number lodge for the day. We've been setting a lot of traps so far. It's actually one of those just pristine beaver lakes that you find where nobody's trapped it for quite a while, and every corner you turn there's another lodge. Here's a lodge. Back around the corner where I came from there's a lodge. I can't quite see. There's a lodge up over there. It doesn't look very active. It might just be a secondary lodge. Way at the end of this bay, there's a lodge way down there. And then back around this corner, yet again on that shoreline over there, there's another lodge. So we're just kind of boating around and setting what we can. We've been averaging about anywhere from 3 to 5 traps, so about 4 traps a lodge. So far we have, I think, 36 traps, so this is probably lodge number 10. We're going to put probably about 4 traps on this one. So what we've mostly been doing is just 30 in the runs. The water is incredibly low this year. It hasn't rained for months now. So my thoughts are high beaver population, drought. I'm going to try to kill as many as I can because I think that they're going to die out in a lot of spots. So might as well take advantage of the resource. Grab the camera, set it up over here, up above the run. Here's one run going into the lodge. Step down. It's right here. Goes in. Run comes out. It's about as textbook of a run as you can find. Let's try to adjust this camera. Okay, let's see if I can. There's a lot of glare on the screen, it's hard for me to see. I think I can see myself. So, right here, right in the run, that's where we're going to put the first trap. Usually I'll kneel down, when the water's shallow like this. Usually I have to hold myself on the lodge, and I'll put my feet up inside. So right here, there's about a foot of water for this beaver to swim out of. So back to that comment, might as well trap them out. Let's say it's February, it's been 20 below for 3 weeks. I know a beaver can keep the water open fairly well, but I think these beaver are going to be struggling, especially with a lot of food piles I'm seeing. They're 2 feet out of the water, a foot out of the water, and all the feed that they're piling up, it's mostly above water. I think that they're going to have one rough winter. So I like to clean it out as much as I can to where my trap will function, and then once it's set off, if that beaver does any movement, it's not tangling up on stuff. Okay, so I'm just feeling around with my feet, making sure nothing's in the way. I'll take my cable, undo it. Tends to be about 3 wraps per cable, and then it's undone. Cable back around on itself. Make sure I'm fastening to something halfway decent. H stands, they work slick. I used to not use them. I don't know. Forever I'll sit and ask myself why I didn't use them. I thought I was being smart by not using many tools, but sometimes you add a tool to your toolbox and you wish you always had it. That out of the way. So there's one. A little further down the run here, I'm going to put number 2. If you watch, I'm coming up out of the water here, I'm going down, and back up. So I'm going to center my trap pretty much right where my feet are. Pretty much right where I'm standing, I'm going to put the trap right down. Yeah, funny story of the day. So last weekend, I went to drop my beaver off at the fur buyer. Set my waders on the boat. Got back home, went to put them on the dryer, and there's no waders anywhere. So I had to go buy a new set of waders. So at least my waders are dry today. Same thing, I cable off to something firm. Sometimes I have to stake it off, sometimes I cable it off. There we go. That one's in the run. Now we'll set the other run on the other side. Sometimes people talk about interesting sets. This is about as interesting as I make it. Last trap of the day, I ran out of traps. There's still more beaver lodges out here. This is going to be the 69th trap. For some reason I'm short one. But yeah, as interesting as I make it. Trigger's broken, so I put a vice grip on, and then I wired it off to the jaw so I don't lose it in case it comes undone. So sets we're making out here, they're about as simple as it gets. My head's in the way. But up in this crotch over here, I'm trying to think if I can show it on camera. About right there. There's a run that goes up behind this lodge. And pretty much every set that I'm setting, I mean, by the end of the day, I'm hoping to have a total of about 125 traps out. And I'd say, other than the handful of footholds I put out yesterday, all my sets are the same exact thing. I take my 330 and I just put it in the entrances. I put them in entrances, runs. Sometimes maybe this beaver lodge will be tucked back in the cattails and they'll have a main runway out into the main body of water here. Put a 330 right in there. It's quick, simple, easy, and it catches beaver. I'm a little short on H stands. I only got about 7 dozen H stands. So as I can, I'm not using H stands. Like if there's a set that I don't need an H stand, I can get by without. I'm getting by without because, plain simple, I only got a few dozen left, and I'm hoping to get. Trying to think here. It's about 60 traps is what I'm aiming to get out today. And then with that, I only have, I think, 25. I think 25 H stands. Maybe it's 30. It's not many. So about half my sets, in theory, I can't be using H stands. So I really got to focus on that. So I'm going to grab my stake here. I'd say the lesson that I learned is I need to buy more H stands. Either that or set less traps, but we know that's not a possibility. And these 5-minute poles, I only use them as a stake when I'm beaver trapping if I absolutely have to, because I don't have a way to fully fasten my cables to them. So if possible, I do not, stake to them. I try to attach my cable off to something more solid. And the issue is, due to where I put the trap tag on my cable, it doesn't tighten fully around the pole. So when I have that trap tag, I'm trying to think if I can show you here. How I got that trap tag on there, I can't cinch it fully shut around the pole. So that's why I try to, attach to a stick that's firm on the lodge. Something that won't get away. Just in case I get a beaver by the hind foot or by the tail and it's thrashing around. Don't want that to happen. Don't want it to get away. So I'm setting it. Boat keeps floating away. So I'm setting this 330 right here. Toss my cable over there. Make sure my trigger is nice and sturdy. Safety's off. Now I just take my feet and I feel around. And that run is pretty much right here. I want it halfway sturdy, so I might look for just a little stick like this I can break in half just to stabilize through the spring eyes. Just to give it a little bit of rigidity. Yet again, like I said, I much prefer using the H stands, but when you don't have enough, you got to make do. Right there. That's a fairly firm stick to get on. We're at that log that we set yesterday, and on that feed bed I had a trap set. We got a muskrat. If I look here on the log, my trap is still on the log, so all we got is One muskrat. Ooh, foggy. There we go. No idea how many are in the boat, but it's definitely the most this boat has ever seen in a day. It's around 40 of them. I think we caught 2 black ones. That one's a black one. There's another black one in there somewhere. I caught it at the same lodge. So I'm going to keep the black ones for a blanket. Yeah, we were having some motor problems on the lake. Lost the cover for the air filter. So now I got no cover. Hopefully it don't rain on the ride home. And we got a little weed right there. We got a garbage bag wrapped up in the prop. And that kept killing the motor. And I couldn't figure it out. But I think that's part of the issue. I think that the fuel tank was also airlocking on us, preventing fuel from getting to the motor properly, because it just kept dying out like it was running out of fuel. But yeah, I'm gonna cut that out at home. Let's take a step back here. Yeah, nice pile of beaver. Love the smell. It's the best smell I've ever smelled. Just piles of beaver. Smells like spring. Too bad it's fall. Okay. Just released the muskrat and there it is, swimming away. If it was hurt by that trap, I don't think it'd be swimming so well. So that kind of helps end the cruel trap argument you always hear, especially for you know, coil spring on a little muskrat like that. Coming up on this lodge here. This is where we set the 330 with the vice grip trigger. We got one 330 here, but it's got nothing in it. And over here, got ourselves a beaver. Try not to trip in the water and lose the camera. It's a nice sized beaver too. Pull him out of the water. And if you look, that right there, that's our vice grip trigger that we made. So sometimes you just gotta do what you can. You know, you'll catch those beaver. You know, keep them traps working. You know, like, see, used a vice grip for a trigger. I've never done that before, so you were with me for the first, and it worked. So yeah, we're gonna take him out of the trap, continue on down the line, show you what we got on the boat here. Nice pile of beaver. I don't know how many I got in there, so there's quite a few. Most I've ever had in a boat. But I'm gonna take that beaver out and continue checking traps. We're out checking traps. I had to unload all the beaver because all the traps, stakes, stabilizers, me, everything. The boat was almost flooding. I was taking on water on the front end. It wasn't fun. So we're going to continue pulling on traps. I offloaded the beaver at the boat launch. We have about 4 more hours of light. About 36 traps to go. Should be able to pull them. And now it's starting to downpour to, you know, top off the situation. But we're going to keep trucking at it and Hopefully we don't sink. Coming up to this lodge, we got a foothold set here, and the beaver pulled up the end of the drowning rod. He's right there. I don't know how well I can see on camera. It's a nice size. And over here, not sure if I got anything in this trap or not. Feels a little tight. Oh man, it's really tight. Got a beaver by the foot. Yesterday when I came here, my traps were all set off, all the 330s, because I didn't have stabilizers. Didn't have enough, ran out. So I think they weren't stabilized too well. Right here I got another beaver. I've just been catching monster beavers today. I mean, it's almost no kits. It's actually kind of unreal. You know, it's not, that one's not quite a monster. 1, 2, 3, with 5 traps on the hut. 60% catch rate for this hut, but we haven't been matching that all day. But I'll take 3. I'm gonna dispatch this one, clean up the traps, head to the next lodge. I'm trying to head as far upwind as I can, so as I get more weight, I'll be coming back downwind, and I don't have to worry about breaking waves on the front of my boat and getting back into that flood situation. 6 more lodges after this one, somewhere around 30 traps, 31 I believe. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of traps, a lot of beaver. I'm gonna end the day with around 30, but we'll keep you posted. Got the boat loaded. It is full of traps. Here's my pile of beaver I have stashed. I didn't hide it. It's raining, it's middle of the week, we're up north. I didn't think there'd be many people out here, especially with deer season going on. People are hunting rather than fishing, so I just threw them right there, figured they'd be safe. Came back and they're still there. Helps that fur isn't too high, I suppose. So now we just got to get them in the boat and hit the road. So we got the boat unloaded last night with the beaver. Still got to put all the traps away. But today we're gonna skin these beaver, see what happens. There's the otter, 2 rats. 22 is not too bad. The tail on this one, this thing's absolutely massive. I've never seen a tail that big on a beaver. Sure I will again someday, but that's a hog. They're all mostly nice size. We got 1 kit. Let me think. Those 2 are bigger kits. I mean, for the most part, you know, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kits. But the other day I caught a few more kits. But that's what it is.